Okay, so the story that we're looking at is Jack and the King's Rainbow Fish. So, okay, actually, before we start reading the paragraphs, can I hear each of you make a prediction just based on the title, what you think the story's about? Michelle?
That he's gonna find not like a rainbow fish, but different kind of color, of a fish,
Multicolor?
Yeah.
Multicolor fish.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, Logan, you too?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just go from Michelle to Briley to Logan, and we'll just read these paragraphs, and then I'll ask some questions after we read it. So, can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
King Ferdinand loved his garden nearly as much as he loved his daughter.
Eloise.
He especially loved the exotic fish with shimmering rainbow-colored scales that swam in the pond at the center of the garden. One day, the fish began to vanish. The king was livid. "Why are my fish disappearing? I must put a stop to this," he declared. The king offered a reward to anyone who could find out what had happened to his fish. People tried but failed.
Okay, so this is like the question that I want you to consider, so then you can answer it. Will the king be able to figure out why the fish are vanishing? Like just a prediction, do you think that he'll be able to figure out why?
The king? No, not the king.
Not the king?
Not the king.
Okay.
Someone else.
You think the king or someone else will be able to figure out what happened?
The king.
The king?
No, not the king.
Not the king.
Not the king.
Someone else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone else.
All right. Riley, you can read the second paragraph. Can you read it from that far? Okay.
Then one day, a bold and clever young man came along. He introduced himself as Jack. He said to the king, "If you give me your daughter's hand in marriage, I will end your problem." Impressed by the lad's confidence, the king accepted his offer.
Okay. So now, so this guy Jack then, will Jack figure out how to end the problem? Do you think he's the one that's going to figure it out?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because of the title.
Because of the title.
The title? Okay. Will he get to marry the king's daughter? Maybe. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you read from this far away?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Jack searched the garden for footprints, but the only footprints he found belonged to either to him or the king. Next, he questioned all of the people in the king's palace, but no one even had a clue. So, Jack spent the night in the garden, right beside the pond. On the third night he spent there, he spotted something bright going towards the pond.
What's going towards the pond? Something bright. The fish?
How could the
So
fish
do you think
be
the
alive?
fish is out of the water going towards the pond? Because
No,
fish
fish don't have
fish
legs.
don't have legs. So what do you think is going towards the pond? It could be anything really. A person in maybe a person in bright colored clothing.
Like you.
This person must
Yeah,
really
I do
love,
have bright colored clothing.
this person must really love their fish.
Yeah. Well, they're rainbow fish. They're special fish. So yeah, that's why the
He
king
wouldn't
likes
like a
it.
rainbow fish.
So yeah, could be a person in bright colored clothing. He could just spot something reflecting maybe off the water. Like if something had a mirror or something, sometimes you get that shiny kind of reflection. All right, we'll go back to the show.
A fishing
Lure.
lure. Jack thought, where there is a lure, there is sure to be a pull. Sure enough, Jack noticed a long pole slanting over the garden wall. He crept through the garden and climbed up the wall. Peeking over the top, he saw an ogre with a fishing pole in his hands. So that's the thief? Jack thought.
So we know now, the shiny thing that he saw was a fishing lure. So probably the shiny thing on it, and the bright thing was how fishing lures sometimes have a fish, a fake fish, and then a silver hook kind of thing.
Yeah, therefore sometimes they're just bright yellow objects.
Yeah, yellow objects, orange. They can have feathers. I don't know. These fish are attracted to those kind of things. So okay, now I want to know, like, why do you think the ogre is taking the fish?
Because he wants to eat the fish.
He wants to eat the fish.
I feel like kind of the same thing, except it might turn him back to human or something. That's what he
Oh, so like
wants.
the fish is like magic, so he thinks that the fish will. So you think that he wasn't an ogre originally, like he got turned into an ogre? That's interesting. Michelle, do you have any thoughts?
I think he's just like trying to like, just like, I think he's the one taking like the fish.
Mm-hmm. Just to take it, like, because he wants to be mean or what?
So he can sell the fish.
So he can sell it?
Or like
That's interesting.
eat it.
Or eat it? Okay. All right, this is the last paragraph. All right, Riley or Logan, do you want to read it? Which one? Okay, you can.
The ogre hooked a fish, lifted it over the wall, and dropped it into his basket. Jack followed the ogre back to his cottage and swapped places with the fish. When the ogre opened the basket, he heard a voice say, "I am the king's favorite fish. If you don't return me to the king, I will have your head." The frightened ogre promised to return the fish by sunrise. He kept that promise. The king also kept his promise and allowed Jack to propose to his daughter. Eloise rejected Jack's proposal, but Jack was made the head of
Security.
security for the garden, and the ogre was never seen again.
So, okay, right from the beginning, I asked you if the king was going to figure out who took his fish or someone else, and I think all of you said someone else was going to figure out that. And then if Jack was going to marry his daughter, so you said maybe. Did anybody say no?
I said yes.
You said yes. Okay. Well, that's okay because it kind of looked like it. You'd think that if you got proposed to, that you'd say yes, but
Because usually in stories it's like, yes, of course I'll marry.
of
you."
course,
happily ever after.
yeah,
Happily ever after.
exactly. So, and then I don't think none of us guessed that it was a fishing lure that was so bright that he was seeing. I mean, I wouldn't have even have guessed that. So yeah. Okay. Final thoughts on the story. What do you think about it? Like, do you think that the text was hard? Do you think it was pretty easy to follow along with? Pretty easy.
Yeah.
So where there, like, I noticed a lot of you were doing really good, like where there's commas, like you're supposed to pause, and where there's like punctuation, like you pause. All your pace was really nice. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I have. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for the applause.